Well, hey guys, what is up? What is going on out there today? Hey, it's Brent Abel here, webtennis.com, with part six of this series of the Tennis Mindset Project, what I'm calling Mental Toughness is Not This. And today, what we're to talk about is a huge mistake that I made back in the day, not only in my game, but also the way that I would coach players. And I finally discovered why this was the wrong message and what I've done instead, and want to make sure that you're not making this mistake, right? And so, mental toughness is not about this message of, hey, man, just go out there today, relax, and just play your game, right? So, like if you're a serve and volley guy, like I used to be, right? So I would just go out there, and whoever was on the other side of the net, I would play my game, right? I'd play serve and volley. Well, against a lot of players, that worked out pretty well. But against smart players who realized, okay, Brent's going to play serve and volley. All I got to do with that, with my return to serve, is just knock it down low at his feet, make him kind of play down there in the dirt, make him volley up or make him half volley up, and we'll just kind of take it from there. And a lot of players are like that, right? They go ahead, knock it down at your feet when you're playing serve and volley. You play a ball back that's never really going to be a winner, right? Because you don't have the geometry with serve and volley once you're down low with that transitional shot to realistically play a boatload of winners. So what happens now is you play a shot and now they have a target. They have a target, which is what they love. Whether they're going up the line, whether they're going cross court, maybe they're dipping one at your feet, they're playing a two-shot target, or maybe they're playing a lob over your backhand, whatever it is. But if you continue to try to play your game, and for me, that was serve and volley against everybody. And it, again, it worked against a lot of players, but a lot of players it just didn't work. And I was too stubborn back then to go, oh, well, maybe I need to play, more serve and stay in, meaning let's serve and just stay in a few feet, see what we get, but wait until we really get in an offensive opportunity to be able to move in and then challenge with a much tougher passing shot for them, right? So I want you to be thinking about this as opposed to play your game. What is it that that opponent over there doesn't want you to give them, right? Or another way of thinking about it is, well, what is it that they want you to give them, right? Start there. Well, against some players in my serve and volley, they wanted me to serve and volley. That's what they wanted, right? What they didn't want was for me to serve and stay in a foot or two inside the baseline and work the point until I really got something that I could take advantage of in offensive opportunity and really force them then to have to thread the needle, right? So I want you to be thinking about that. Number one, what's that opponent's thing that they want you to give them? Like most, I think the reality in most of our matches, that guy's forehand over there is probably better than their backhand. I'm not saying that's the case each and every time, but in my in my experience over the decades, usually the guys forehand's a little bit better. Okay, I can discover that against someone that I've never played against before pretty darn quickly. Certainly in the warm up, if I'm playing balls up the middle, which I do a lot in the warm up to see what's their preference. Do they want to run around and play a forehand? Do they want to run around and play a backhand? Whatever their choice is in the warm up, that gives me an indicator as to what they want, right? So if that's what I discover in the warm up and then we play a few games and I go, whoa, this dude's got himself a forehand. Okay, he's not going to see another one for the rest of the match unless it's a wide open court, right? Or maybe you find someone who's got, a weakness, right? You go from strength to weakness, and somewhere in between is maybe average, right? So what I'm always looking for, what are they average at? And maybe there's a weakness. Maybe it's not a shot. Maybe they don't have a weak backhand, but their movement is not great, right? They don't like moving up for the ball, a boatload, a steady diet of drop shots and hoping they get to it, hoping that they kind of push it back, and then giving me an opportunity, giving you an opportunity to lob over their backhand, make them go run, right? Their movement's not great for whatever reason. Maybe they got, a bum knee. Maybe they got whatever, right? But you got to take advantage of whatever it is that they're going to give you that they hope that you don't give them, right? That they just hope you don't discover uh, some kind of average or weakness. Look, some guys are out there carrying around an extra 15, 20, 25, 30 pounds. They may have a great forehand. They may have a great backhand, but my job against those guys, and I hope yours will be as well, let's make sure that we keep the match going as long as we possibly can. They might win the first set, they might go up a break in the second set, but I'm telling you, I've been in this situation a lot of times where in that case, after an hour plus, they start, the tank runs dry because they're carrying around some extra baggage. Your job at that point is to keep them out there as long as you possibly can. I can't tell you how many matches I've won when I've been down a set and a break to someone who's really good. Maybe some guy used to play in the tour, but hasn't really taken great care of his body since then. And he's hauling around some extra baggage. Okay, that's great. You played in the tour. You were a heck of a player. But you're going to have to deal with the fact that you're not in the best shape. So I'm going to keep you out here as long as I can, right? I'm going to make you hit a boatload of shots. I'm not going for winners just because you're up a set and a break. Doesn't I just assume that eventually you're going to hit the wall, right? So the message today is that it used to be, and I used to think about this as I described earlier, play your game. And I used to coach players to do that, and that was wrong. That was just really wrong because it never really gave them a a way of thinking about strategy, a way of thinking about tactics against unique opponents. Every opponent over there is somewhat different. You might be able to categorize them into, certain little boxes in terms of, well, this guy's a serve and volley guy. Well, this guy's a serve and sort of stay in guy. Well, this guy's, he's a pusher. All right. So that each one of those, now you have to go out there and discover what is it based on their game that they don't want you to give them and give them a steady diet of that. If your game, and it used to be with mine, I was so plan A, right? I never had a plan B because all I could do was serve and volley. That's all I could do. And against, again, most players, it worked, but there were enough players where it didn't work, where over time I finally realized, wait a minute, I got to learn how to hit a couple, two or three, four ground strokes in a point here against certain opponents, or else I'm just not ever going to be maximizing whatever my natural athletic skills are paired with all of the training that I'm doing. And I did a lot of training, but boy, it was all focused on serve and volley. And so, yeah, play your game. Not the right message. What it is you want to discover what's their strength. Number one, okay, we're going to stay away from that. What's their average? What's their weakness? We're going to give them a steady diet of that. And again, what's their average or what their weakness is, isn't always a stroke, right? It could be they move so much better side to side that that playing shots over there to the corners, not what you want to do, right? A lot of players love to look at the court from a corner. They love that geometry, right? So what I've discovered over the years against those types of guys, one of two things. I'm going to play a lot of balls right up the middle. I'm going to force them into having to have great footwork to get out of the way of incoming balls. And then number two, I'm going to play a lot of drop shots and then lob over their backhand. So hope this has been helpful. Want to hear from you down below. What's on your mind today? Anything, number one thing that maybe kind of jumped out at you that you're thinking, now there's something I really got to work on. If so, let me know down below in the comments area. Love to read those and respond. Maybe you got a question, whatever it is, let me know. Guys, and look, if you love this series, hit that like button, right? For sure, do that. And look, if you've not yet done so, uh, look, I got a free video for you. It's a 9-minute video, and it describes what I think is the number one thing that has helped me become one of the top players in my age group. Certainly made me such a better player, which I was always pretty good physically, stroke technique wise, but mental, just a real mental midget out there. Until I discovered from Jim Lohr that what you do between points, how you manage that 80% of the match, Right. 80% of the time during matches, singles and or doubles, we're not playing points. 80% of the time is spent between points and on side changes. Literally 20% on average, are we playing points. So it's super important that you learn how to manage that 80%, the between points time and the side change time. And when you do, you start to consistently play at the top of your current skill level. And look, it's a 4 parts between points routine. I got a free video for you. If you've not picked it up, there's a link right down below in the description area. I want you to click it. I want you to go drop in a first name and email address, and you'll get immediate access to this game changing 9 minute between points description video right down below. Click it and you can get started. All right, guys, that's it for me today. Hope this was helpful. As always, it's time. We need to get out there, help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, I will see you again next time.